Presented by Casho Drive. Powered by Say It Loud Media. In association with Avinashi Outdoor Advertising.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the M4G Talkies podcast. This is a podcast where we talk to brand heads, CMOs, people who are actually in the business of getting your brands across to you. And we talk to them about their lives, their experiences, with the intention that all of us can learn in the process. I'm very happy to have with us today Bishwajeet Samal. Biswajit is the CMO of the Volkswagen brand. Welcome, Bishwajeet.
Thank you very much, Meenakshi. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure and a privilege.
The first question that I would want to ask the CMO of Volkswagen, have you ever driven a Beetle?
Of course, I have. Of course, I was in Germany for many years, so I got a chance to drive some Beetles.
The Beetle has always been a dream car of mine. You recently moved into the role of head of marketing and PR at VW India. How different is this role from the earlier ones you had?
Well, I have been with this company for more than 17 years, starting from the launch of the brand in India to launching one product after the other in India. I was fortunate enough to have 2 global stints. So the perspective is quite different. India has changed a lot over the last 5 years that I was away. Consumers are more demanding. They are exposed to better experiences and their expectation from brands also has gone up significantly. So coming back to this new role where I see like an evolved India, we have to cater to the needs and the demands of the consumers. So as an aspirational premium brand, what all we need to do to be relevant or strengthen our familiarity with the consumers, that is something I'm kind of focusing on right now.
So you've had a very interesting career path. You began your career in media, advertising, then marketing and really high-end marketing. So what are your long-standing lessons? What did you keep with you from your media stint, from your advertising stint?
Very interesting question. Well, as in advertising, I think is core to marketing. See, I was with FCB Interface for like 2 years and there were huge learnings. What I have always believed in is listening to the consumer. There is a German saying, I will just say that in English, like God has given us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let's use it that way. So you need to...
Twice the listening and
exactly.
half the speaking.
So listening to your consumers, what people want, listening to your colleagues, what are their experiences, what are the stories they have to share is important. I think that's the secret sauce behind creating a great brand.
So would you say your stint in media and your stint at the agency has made you a better marketer?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Tell me, what's the most exciting thing about marketing an automobile brand in India?
I find it very exciting because, there are these consumer moments which you cater to as a brand. And that, I think with an automobile where, your family is there inside the car or you're traveling with friends, you are having these experiences and these moments stay with you forever. So from a brand likability point of view, engaging with the consumer, offering them this space which they trust their families with, their friends with, and in the journey of their life, they have this companion throughout. I think it's super exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I'm listening to you talk about it, I'm actually thinking about the role the automobile plays in your life.
Yeah. Actually, it's like a friend. A lot of people have this habit of naming their cars.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And it is global. You call your car something because you believe it's obviously someone that you closely relate to. It's like a friend.
People tend to be obsessed about their vehicles, right?
True. Especially the first cars. Because you make the strongest memories.
So what do you think is the most critical non-core skill to be a successful marketer today?
First thing I would say, and I learned it while I have been with this brand, is to be human in your approach. What do I mean by being human? It's like really seeing things as they appear. without any filters on top. I think the ability to do that, to understand things how they are without being biased, to understand things better and make the most value out of whatever situation you are in.
So tell me one thing. I've always been very curious about this aspect, right?
Uh-huh.
Automobile brands use a lot of outdoor,
Yes,
particularly when they're doing launches.
right.
What is the insight behind that?
I think traditionally, if you look at so many years of automobile advertising, outdoor has always been a part of the mix. There's one channel that you cannot miss out, and staging your car in a larger than life platform is something that the outdoor as a medium enables you with. They also give a lot of creative opportunities to strengthen your campaign. If we were to look at let's say the opportunity that outdoors provide you, there's some unique ones that other mediums won't be able to match. And a lot of brands globally, they have used this to their advantage, including Volkswagen. We say it outdoor, I would say in city.
Correct.
Yeah. It is inside the city, a city which has people, and people live in the city and they transit and they see. An outdoor kind of forms a major part of the cityscape. Any big city has lovely, impactful outdoors.
But we don't see so much of that in India.
I wouldn't say that, honestly speaking, because if I were to look at launches, it's been like 7-8 months I've come back to the country, but while I was at the headquarters, also I was looking at markets, including India. Outdoor forms a huge part of, let's say, an automobile launch campaign, like you rightly pointed out. Sustenance, of course, you mid-funnel to low-funnel, you tend to rely on digital more. But when it's about the launch campaign, when it's about launching a new product or talking something about the brand, outdoors still forms a huge part.
Okay, so if we can have a little bit of a debate on
Yeah.
this business of sustenance.
Yeah.
Okay, top funnel to mid funnel.
Yeah.
The digital space is a very, very crowded space.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Whereas outdoor is in most cases solo. So if you've got
Yeah.
like a brilliant site,
Yeah.
it's got nothing around it. So
Yeah.
it sort of gets your attention.
Yeah.
What if you were to look at outdoor as not just being the top of the funnel, but actually being mid funnel? Because then what happens is your strategy is talking to people when they are on the road, when they are driving, when they see that giant car on the billboard, like you said, with the impact.
Yeah.
That creates a FOMO, doesn't it?
It does. And you are absolutely right. So when I say that outdoor is an important part of the mix during launch campaign, that doesn't mean that automobile or OEMs are not using outdoor in sustenance. They are being used. You are right in saying that, like when someone is transiting, especially let's look at airports.
Correct.
We have digital outdoor opportunities there. And a lot of brands are using it, even to do a tactical messaging. My advice would be, as marketers, we should try to use even a tactical opportunity should be used to talk about the brand a bit.
Build brand.
Yeah, build brand.
Yeah. I remember, in fact, having a conversation with one vehicle manufacturer who told me my biggest advertising is on the road.
Okay.
Because my vehicles are on the road.
The products are on the road.
Products are on the road, so everybody sees them.
Right.
And I think, therefore, for new brands, it becomes very important to challenge that story, that narrative. And outdoor is brilliant when it comes to challenging that narrative because it's much larger than life, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'll give you some examples. And I always have believed in outdoor, and that's why it still remains an important part of our mix. We spend around 11 to 14% of our media investments on outdoors throughout the year. We did something called the heli banner.
Of course.
Yeah. So a helicopter flying with the Beetle banner.
Yeah.
And we had a tie-up with a radio station. We were constantly, like the RJ was constantly talking about it, saying this is where you can see the spot, the helicopter with the banner. We had done cluster hoardings. We had done a lot of innovations in outdoor. There were a couple of billboards we had done in metro cities where you can see the Beetle, like it's a kind of a toy car that we built into the billboard, and it was going around the logo BW. A lot of people wrote about it. They noticed it. So there are a lot of opportunity, I would say, outdoor has to offer, and all brands should think of using the media in a clever way to strengthen their brand or the messaging.
in the last 6 months, which has been the one campaign that has either touched you or caught your attention, or you said, oh, I wish I had done that?
Well, it definitely did catch my attention. I think all of us must have seen this, the iPhone campaign. It did stand out, and you cannot miss it.
What makes it so special?
I think they used outdoor in a very clever way. They had this special color, of course, which stood out, and that made, let's say, people look at the billboard and notice, oh, there's a new iPhone billboard, and there's something which they splashed. I'm talking about Mumbai because I live in the city. You can't miss, and I couldn't miss.
So, Biswajit, what would be your favorite OOH brand line?
One of my favorite copy lines would be more car per car. That is something Volkswagen had done in Europe. And the line is so simple. The beauty lies in simplicity, right?
Correct.
Simplicity of the messaging, how it connects with the consumer. So that is something I really love. Think small. I think this is something all of us know in the industry.
Think small is beautiful, yeah.
And lemon also, that, as in, it just says it all. So very, very interesting lines. And to kind of give an example which is outside of Volkswagen, I would say Amul as a brand. I think the whole of India always, is curious about what's the next thing they're going to put up.
So if you were to meet somebody, a potential customer at a party or a social gathering, what would be your opening line?
This is a very interesting question. Again, I think people who work in the industry, automobile industry, they know this. What car are you driving? And that is where it starts, because a lot of times it's the conversation starter, and you realize whether someone is willing to talk beyond this, or he or she is like fully engaging now, and the conversation is all about cars and engines and performance.
Tell me a little bit about your views on AI in marketing.
Brands have started launching even brand campaigns using AI. AI is here. There is no debate anymore. It is going to impact marketing processes. It's going to impact how production is done, how content is consumed, how, let's say, analytics or the reporting is done. So across different functions within marketing, building a brand, running a company, I would say AI has to play a role at each and every step. There are possibilities, which brands like us are evaluating. When it comes to marketing, to give you recent examples, we are also using AI in content production. You don't have to always, cars are big objects to be moved, right? If you have to do a shoot, there is always at least 2 cars. There's a backup car, there's a car which is coming along with the technician, which is going to support the shoot and all of this. So there is huge cost and a lot of planning that goes into shooting or creating something for automobile as an industry. So AI now, I think, can be effectively used where you are spending less in production, saving that money, producing some fillers in between, which can be stitched together to produce content.
So your approach is that AI actually helps you free up resources so that they can be deployed in more meaningful areas. Would that be a safe statement?
Yes, I would say so. We used to gain inspiration. So you go to the client, meet the client, you come back with a brief, and on the way back, you are having ideas. How do I translate this brief into a campaign? What should I brief my creative team? How should they make something which is going to be impactful, interesting, driving the right KPIs for the brand and for the client? And then you go back to Shutterstock or Getty, look at images, search it up, and draw inspiration. I think with the advent of AI, you can actually create something on your own to see how it works, what impact does it have. And that is something with the agencies are also using now to bring ideas to the clients. So there would be resources getting freed up. We would be saving time.
Okay, so one last question for you, Biswajit.
Yeah.
You were in advertising many, many, many years ago, and you're now dealing with advertising agencies.
Right.
What is the change that you've seen? I put
Very
you on
difficult.
the spot.
I know. Well, all I can say is I think today's advertising executives have to be a little more patient. And again, going back to the same point, you should listen more.
Correct.
I think the need to really listen to what is being said is important. The ability to listen, remain curious, and look for the right insights.
Lovely. On that happy note, I'd like to thank you, Biswajit, for being with us. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi, for having me. Thank you very much for the opportunity.